with the subject just before LSD is to be administered.
This guy here is a science wizard extraordinaire. He also writes really amazing stories and does cool shit. Has a mustache. Yeah.
What's his name?
His name's Matt Freeze, or Jet Propelled Insectivore is his creative title.
This is my partner in Christ. Traci Lavois Thiebaud. Poet, artist, dreamer.
Yeah, we're here in our office for Whatever Mom Publications. This is where this office existed. Well, we built this office because we needed it, I guess. I bound my own book called Camp Big Stick, Somebody Poisoned the Humans, with this machine here. And that's what we do. We bind literature.
I have a really wonderful letter of application to a writing conference about my background in writing. I mentioned how I wanted to seem really deep and seductive to all of my female peers in high school, and I didn't play sports, so I had to do something I was good at. So I wrote, and everyone who tells you that they write initially not to get laid is lying to you. It's very factual. And then I really liked it, and then I don't know, I got really into sci-fi. I was grounded a lot. Made me want to write sci-fi. Got me more weird. And then I go to U of H for it. Kinda.
What about you?
I went to college for theater performance, so not exactly writing, but I lived in Los Angeles for a little over 2 years, and I went through Upright Citizens Brigade training, which is improv training. I wrote a lot of sketch comedy and did improv and stuff there. I started busking because I felt like I had a lot of things that I was too scared to do as stand-up, so I just turned them into poems. And then, yeah, improv really lent itself well to coming up with stuff on the spot. So I don't know, my writing education has been very piecemeal, just from reading really great authors and writing comedy, I guess, is where it started.
So who are some of your favorite authors, or what are some of your favorite pieces that I think oftentimes we choose a word or phrase from our favorite authors, and it sticks with us, and every time we read it we're like, oh god, what are some examples of that for you two?
two of my favorite poets that I've actually discovered somewhat recently. One of them, her name is Joan Job Smith, and she's a poet that lives in California. She was born in Paris, Texas, and grew up in California. And she writes like amazing kind of narrative style poetry, like anecdotal. And she's just so raw, and she says stuff with such simple language. And she's kind of like lived a very like lower middle class like life as a single mom, and it's just like so gut-wrenching, you know, and just like honest, and she's not trying to like say anything, she's just presenting the facts kind of. She has this like amazing the title poem of the book that I'm thinking of is called The Powwow Cafe, and the first line is like something to buy the painting that my father was too like to buy the painting that my father was too cheap to get for my mother, she got a job at the Powwow Cafe. So it's like to achieve like this goal of having a piece of art, she went to this job, and he ended up hating the job because she had to dress in a tiny skirt and like a small top, and I don't know. I love her. She has really honest work. And then also a woman named Charlotte Bowman. She's a Texas poet. I found her book on my book tour, and she's incredibly talented, really funny. It's called 1-800-HOT Ribs. Everyone should check out both of those.
I think Philip K. Dick taught me how to love, and then Robert Anton Wilson is who I ended up with forever, you know, in holy matrimony. Both those guys, I don't know. Everyone who's watching us who hasn't read anything by Philip K. Dick or Robert Anton Wilson, change that immediately. Both those men can like unlock brains. I guess I never write them when it's really short. It's now a poem. This one's called The final episode of Roseanne was really quite a shock. The Red Lobster parking lot was amuck, flashing, the dying stars of yesterday's relationships flung about like so many basketballs during an elementary school basketball team's practice in the community center cafeteria room, because the public elementary school's gymnasium has asbestos, and the economy has been rough, and taxpayers' morale has been at record lows. So it's just more feasible to host basketball practice in the community center cafeteria room on days when there isn't a community center event scheduled, which happens to be Tuesday evenings. This has really upset Martha Luciano, because she really feels it would be best if they could just reschedule the weekly AA meetings to Tuesday evenings, because Tuesday evenings are her only evenings off from her job as a waitress. The neighborhood Chili's with basketball practice has to be on Tuesday evenings, because the coach's wife needs it to be that day, because she plays bunco with her fellow maternal friends on Mondays, and she really needs the rest of the days of the week open, and Tuesdays have always been her least favorite day. And if he's at practice, she needs to stay home, because somebody has to stay home and watch their newborn son Michael, because they can't afford a babysitter, because like I said, the economy has been rough. So her husband, the coach, schedules basketball practice on Tuesday evenings in the community center cafeteria room, except it isn't that at all, because it is a Red Lobster parking lot.
This is one that I started out as the first time I did it, it was a song that we did like this on Dallas radio. Somebody handed me a kid's book and was like, you should read something from this. So I started reading from this book, and it was so bizarre that I just like went off and I wrote a really kind of, I don't know, silly poem. So it's called Picture Book. Find your finger. Do you have your finger? Finger. Finger. Take your finger and trace the seahorse. Go on. Trace the seahorse. Do you see the seahorse? Seahorse. The seahorse. Do you see him? The seahorse. Trace him with your finger. Are you tracing the seahorse? Are you tracing him with your finger? Pointer finger. Finger. Are you tracing the seahorse with your finger? Go on, trace him. Trace the seahorse with your finger. Is this your finger? Is this your finger? Everybody is looking at your finger. Everybody is talking about your finger. You've got one stupid looking finger. They're all laughing. They're all laughing at your finger. Look at your dumb old finger. Your finger is a seahorse. How did your finger become a seahorse? A seahorse? Your seahorse. Is your finger a seahorse?
Also a poem because it's short. It's called I Was Going to Title This Something Else, but I Don't Want You to Kill Yourself. I watched an intentionally attractive woman lead a group meditation, and all I could think about was how much I had to piss. Also, there was a stray dog barking outside. It was kind of like that time when a post-adolescence family had a birthday dinner for their oldest daughter had a middle-class seafood restaurant designed for families like theirs to be able to have a nice dinner because the food was good but reasonably priced, and her stepdad had to force himself to ignore the flashing of the lights from the hood of the slightly not-this-year security car owned by Better Business Security Company that would periodically glare through the windows onto their relationship restored at birthday dinner. But it was a huge quandary for him because he really valued security and the officers who upheld it, but goddamn was that light annoying. After dinner, he apologized to God for taking his name in vain.
This is from Can't Big Stick. Somebody poisoned the humans. I'd like to stand behind you in the mirror, tie the morning noose around your neck, business, casual, wave you off in the drive, turn to my neighbor Martha or whatever and say, he's headed to hell in a hybrid handbasket, ha ha ha. Let's grow old and dry together in the suburban sack lunch armpit of America. I'll plant apathy and mint in the garden. We won't talk to our children and then we'll die. We always die. I smell the ocean in my hay, said a farmer once. Was I a farmer once?
I don't know, like us? That'd be cool. Not like on Facebook in real life. Like us in real life. You know. Yeah.
Keep the faith.
Do that, yeah. Yeah, keep the faith and spread it gently. Sign off.